What's up, everybody? This is Colby Cheese. I'm going to be doing a guide for you guys on what items that you should be selling to the vendors in Path of Exile. Now, there's no currency system in the game as of now, and so it can be kind of confusing for certain players to know which items to actually be picking up off the ground and selling to the vendor, and what exactly is good to try and amass. So a few of the items that you're going to be able to get from the vendor are going to be chromatic orbs, the whetstones, and the armorer's scraps, as well as glass blowers baubles. And these are the ones that you want to kind of hoard up for yourself, because they're going to be useful for you as you are leveling up your characters and trying to improve your items and whatnot. So what you can do to get these items is to sell certain combinations and certain types of items to the vendor. Now, normally, if you've just been selling everything that you pick up, such as the blues and the rares, then you're going to be getting scraps, which turn into those orbs of transmutation and to the orbs of alteration, which are also good to have. I definitely do sell all of the rares that I find, but there are way too many blues and other things that on the ground to pick up, and that just takes way too much time to sell everything that you find. Instead, what I do is I pick up items that are of quality. In other words, if you see an item on the ground and it says superior on it, whether it's a flask or a weapon or a piece of armor, I'll go ahead and pick that up and I'll store it in my stash tab until I have a certain number of them. Now, the way it works is if you sell an item to a vendor individually that's just like 10% quality, you're just gonna get some scraps or something like that. But if you sell multiple items where the quality actually adds up to 40%, then you will get a whetstone from the vendor, or a bauble if you're selling some flasks. So we're gonna do some weapons here, and if I put just one piece, you see I get that transmutation shard, and that's not what I want to do. So this one is 17% quality. I need to sell a few more items in order to match that 40% number. Now, if this was actually a 20% quality, which is the max quality you can get on an item, then yes, 20% on one item will give you a whetstone, but that's very rare to find. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some more items up. Looks like we got a whetstone. There we are. So I just added up to 40%, and now I can get a whetstone. And those whetstones will improve the quality of your weapons, making them have more damage. And in the case of armor, you'll get more armor on your items. So you have to make sure you're selling only weapons or only weapons or only armor. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. Now let's go ahead and do some of the flasks, and it's going to work the same way, but for baubles. So I'm going to go ahead and sell a couple of flasks and have that equal up to 40%. And there we go. There's a glass blower's bauble. And those are going to make your flasks do some extra stuff as well. So they'll either heal for more, give you more mana, or if in the case of like a granite flask, it'll give you a longer duration, for example, on your flask, and possibly higher quality for the modifications that you're adding on there, as long as it's quality before you try and transmute that into a higher quality or whatever. So anyways, that's what you want to be doing for the items that you find on the ground. So whenever I see something I come across, a rare, I'll pick it up for the shards, because the rares usually give more shards. And as far as the other items, I just pick up superior stuff that's usually above 10%, so I don't have to store too much of inventory. And I actually have a little bit too much of inventory right now. I was just storing it up for the purpose of this video. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to sell items that have a red, green, and blue linkage, and you'll be able to get a chromatic orb. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look for one, because I don't have any in my inventory. I'm going to look one from the vendor. So what I'll do is I actually do buy them from the vendor. So here's one, blue, green, and red. And I'm just going to buy that from the vendor, and I'll sell it right back to him. So let's go ahead and check around for any other ones. Okay, so those boots, they won't work because they are missing a linkage. They are red, green, and blue, but they need to all be linked in order for this vendor recipe to work. So looks like there are not anything else. So I'm going to go back to the sell tab, push Control left click, and that's a cool little shortcut for you guys. And that'll send it over to him. And there we go, chromatic orb. And those are good to save up so that you can change the color of the links on your items, because you may have an item with a couple of different sockets that you like, However, those sockets need to be different colors, you know, and so you'll use those chromatic orbs in order to get those the right way, and that is probably the easiest way. So anytime you find an item on the ground, look at the item when it drops, and if it has those 3 colors set up, then you can sell. But anyways, that's it for now. Hopefully this guide helped you out to know like which items you should be picking up off the ground to sell other than the items that you want to use. Well, looks like the realm is restarting, so this was a good time to stop the video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, and see you around next time. It's Cheese. Peace out.